Alright, so what you're gonna do today is you're gonna do a standard boring ass Kimura from this position, but at the same time, like, you can make it fancy pretty quickly. But today what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to get this guy to move, to do the move. But I don't want to teach a second part today because it's not really a beginner's technique, it's more of a fundamental technique. But I'm going to show you how I give myself an escape route to do another Kimura today that's actually pretty savage. Alright, so having said that, if it's pretty savage, really go slow and really look after this person. Alright, look after this person. I was saying in the kids class that the first thing, if you really want to be a smart practitioner in class, something I learned when I was a white belt was that be this person first, because that way you feel what it's like. Does that make sense? And then when it's your turn to do the move, when you switch over with your buddy, then you know how far to go, because you just realize how much painful it is straight away. So I always go, I want to be the person to feel it first. That's me, because then I know what I'm doing to the other person, how far I can take it, or what I'm going to do. So the first thing you're going to do today is standard boring Kimura, and then super exciting, savage as fuck Kimura. So some nice Jiu-Jitsu, and then I look over here to the ladies, some savage Jiu-Jitsu, because ladies are savages, all right? And if they're not, we want them to be savages, because then they're really cool training partners, all right? You guys want to encourage the ladies to do as much Jiu-Jitsu as possible. You don't want to shy them away from Jiu-Jitsu, you want to push them into it even more. And the easiest way to make ladies want to do Jiu-Jitsu more is to teach them really nasty shit, because they get that grin on their face. Yeah, guys, you're encouraged to get energy out. Ladies, for so long over history and centuries were not encouraged to be physical. Now is a way different time, and they should. And when they get the opportunity to be physical, they are savage, and it's really good to see. It's really good to see. And what you want in this art is you want ladies that really get into it, and really rough and savage. You really do. That's what you want. You want ladies to be mean as hell in Jiu-Jitsu. I try to do the opposite with the guys. I'm like, chill the fuck out, dude. It's like, slow down. You can be a savage, but we'll slow you down. Because they don't listen as much as you ladies do. You ladies actually listen to the details. Right now, all these guys over here on the left-hand side of me, all they're thinking about is like, I can't wait for the last 15 minutes so I can beat the shit out of each other. That's all they're thinking about. That's all they're thinking about. Ladies are like, what can I do so I can learn a lesson, then I can beat the hell out of it. So what we're going to do today is boring Kimuras from the top, all right, in 3 steps. So I put it this way, hey Jimmy, if the kids can get it in 3 steps, you better be able to get it in 3 steps, because if you can't, the kids are better than you. So here's what's going to happen. Over the top, and I like to raise this, put my elbow underneath the person's shoulder, and then tap them on the belly. Okay, real simple. Your right hand here right now, you're going to do this really simple today. Your right hand can just brace on the floor here. You don't have to do anything fancy with it, okay? Now your knee on the head side is going to go flat, so you're going to be like a little lizard on this side. So you can start to come in here. And then look, I'm not opening my chest to do this, because that's where you get bridged upon. Don't open your chest like that. Keep your chest in nice and low. Don't go searching for the wrist. The easiest thing is to get the hand. They'll eventually give it to you. The hardest thing to get is underneath here, because they'll bury that. So that's the one you should look for first. Side control. Over the top, lift his shoulder up, put your elbow underneath. This will make it super tight straight away, and then tap his belly. And now look, this is what dudes do all the time, but they make all this space. Don't make that space there. From here, put your hand on the floor, your elbow in nice and tight if you wish. Drop your hip on the head side of his body, and then bring your elbow back towards your hip line, and your hand will be here ready to grab. Grab the person's wrist. You can go a C grip, or you can go like a cup, whichever one you prefer, okay? Grab your pinky next to their, they have a bend in their wrist, and then put your other hand, same thing, pinky with a bend in your own wrist. Does that make sense? So right now my right knee is against this person's hips, and my left leg is long. So what I'm gonna do, I'm looking this direction. I'm gonna just tilt it so I'm facing that way, doing the exact same thing. Switch the knees and switch my elbows, look. Step over the person's head. And here, that's what I teach the kids. Smash his head down to the floor, real nicely though. Right, like it's a meat patty. Get it all juicy. Down, and now look, we're gonna do this really, really easy today. I'm gonna arch back, and I'm gonna paint the floor with his thumb. Look, I'm gonna arch back slowly, and paint the floor. But what I don't wanna do is this. So his head comes up. Don't need to. You don't need to. What you do need to concentrate on is your left elbow hugging him. People do this, like that, so they make all this space underneath here to sort of swipe the floor like that. You make all this space. But that means that this here is not tight. One of the easiest things to do is start pulling your elbow in. Pull your elbow in underneath his shoulder. This makes the shoulder so much tighter. And here, put his head on the floor. You don't want his head up. This is why you're gonna smash the patty here. Here, elbow in, now look. He won't get his thumb off the floor and his thumb won't go very far. So this is really simple and it's really, really tight. What I want you to do is make it simple and tight, because then when he's moving, he'll do all the movement for you. Does that make sense? If you can make this simple and tight, we're like, oh man, that kind of, it's really, really tight. This, your partner should say, that's really, really tight. That way, the mechanism works. So then when they move, the mechanism is easier. If they start moving their hips around and so forth like that, they start trying to get up, they start trying to move their shoulders and like this, starts moving his elbow, he'll make it worse for himself. Okay? The last thing, with your hands, just like little butterflies going forward, so decelerate on the motorcycle. Does that make sense? Decelerate. That will also engage the grip and the turn a lot more easier. Any questions at all? Okay? Alright, let's go through it one more time. One, over the top, lift his shoulder up, put the crook of your elbow underneath it, and then tap him on the belly. Does that make sense? Two, sprawl out on the head side one, turn your chest this direction and your hands, you know, this. Don't be reaching so much like up here. Just wait, I would just wait my time. Grab the person's wrist, push it out, join your hands together. Okay, your elbow now, I want to start to get it towards the floor. You don't have to be in any hurry to get it to the floor, but here right now, people, you can keep it on his belly, it's fine. But when I want to do this, I like to put my right elbow on the floor because I can lean, like I'm leaning on my left elbow right now. So I'm going to switch my hips. Step over his head, don't step all the way over here, don't step short. I kind of step in line with his head, and then the inside of my knee pushes his face and his head on the floor. Now to finish. Pull your elbows in, decelerate, keep his head on the floor, start looking up, and you'll drag him away. I didn't go very far, does that make sense? I barely went anywhere. Because I'm concentrating on this, concentrating on this, and this. And I like to create this. I don't like to push, I don't want to like use all this muscle. The strength versus strength is a stupid game right here. Because when you're tired, how are you going to use that strength? Do you know what I mean? You can be strong, it's fine. It's really, really good. It's good for Jitsu. When you're tired, when it's 5 rounds in, 6 rounds in, you've been in for 2 hours, you're definitely going to want to have your technique there. Use your strength, your abilities, your youth, your athleticism. Use that as an asset, not the game. Use it as the asset to your game. Alright? So from here, I create a machine with my body as like a frame, and I just frame with my torso. That way I don't have to push, I'm not using my arms like this, I'm using a frame. Questions? Let's do this, okay? Grab a buddy, Everybody's going to do it 3 times. The other guy's going to do it 3 times. 1, 2, 3.